Water and Sanitation Minister Pemmy Majodina had today launched National Water Month on the 1st of March 2025 during a ministerial oversight visit at Rand Water Pump Station in Eikenhof, south of Johannesburg. This is taking place amid a national outcry on water accessibility and failing water and sanitation infrastructure. We're now joined by the Deputy Minister of Water and Sanitation, David Mahlobo. Deputy Minister, good evening. Thank you so much for your time. Appreciate it. The South African Human Rights Commission had recently launched a report into the state of water and water provision in South Africa, bemoaning the state of water infrastructure and water quality in the country. As we embark into National Water Month, some deep thinking has to happen about how do we actualize the human rights element of water accessibility in the country. Water Month is a month where we have to reflect very deeply on this over the course of the month. Various challenges exist in the sector. You're well aware of those. Talk to me about what some of the initiatives will be for the rest of this month in commemorating and celebrating and using this moment of National Water Month as a pivotal moment.
No, thank you very much, Oliver. We just have to appreciate that nearly 31 years ago, our country has made strides in terms of access to water and sanitation, restoring dignity for millions and millions of South Africans who are denied access to water and decent sanitation, which is a human rights issue, including the economic benefits thereof that are associated. However, we are the first to admit that we've seen over the last few years a significant decline for those South Africans who don't have access to water. Some of them, they're having intermittent water supply and a deterioration of water quality. This government, led by His Excellency President Cyril Ramaphosa, has directed Minister Pemmy Majodina and ourselves to do whatever it takes, firstly, to ensure that the remaining 10% of South Africans, they too have access to water infrastructure. But we must also attend to the biggest weaknesses that our municipalities, as we speak right now, the reliability of water nationally has dropped to about 67% in the main, on the basis of operational failures by a number of municipalities and financial positions. That's why issues around implementation modeling, wherein in terms of Operation Vulindlela, we've agreed now that while municipalities are struggling, we'll work in terms of the private sector, work with the water boards, mobilize the capacity that is required, including the issues of the finances, so that we can be using special purpose vehicle, use blended finance, deal with all these other issues where citizens are denied access to water. When it comes to issues of water security, President has directed us to move with speed on the delays work on the Soto Highlands. We know now is back on track in terms of Polyhali. It will be delivered in the financial year 28-29. We're working in KwaZulu-Natal, around Durban, around all these other issues, so that those communities, they too don't have problems of water. Those are some of the major issues that Dixon, I can be in a position to say we're doing.
Deputy Minister, a big part of the problem that plagues the sector is the deliberate vandalization and sabotage of key water infrastructure. You had last spoken to me about the securing of key water infrastructure, saying that the department will speak to its partners in cabinet and ask the president to support some sort of security intervention in safeguarding key water infrastructure. What progress has been made on that?
We are very pleased that the Ministry of Police has been very, very supportive. A number of our water infrastructure installations are now classified as national key points. In other words, in terms of the security architecture of our country, today Eikenhof, that supplies Northwest and Johannesburg and a number of municipalities, more than 60% there. That is a national key point. And a number of these installations are being looked after that. And in the meantime, we must also admit that some of these issues of vandalism are actually perpetuated with this phenomenon called water tankering. We have the mafias, and these mafias are destroying the valves and the infrastructure. Hence, we have told them that as national government, we don't want water tankers. They must be a temporary measure. Where they are being used, Oliver, they must be actually insourced. They must belong to the municipality. We must then also be in a position to ensure that we're also using the right technologies so that we don't have these particular problems in the water sector, including the issues of illegal connections happening both in water and electricity.
What is the level of implementation of that provision, that regulation that says that should a municipality have to resort to the use of water tankers due to damaged infrastructure, that it must be owned by the municipality? How many municipalities are yet to implement this, particularly focusing on problematic provinces like Gauteng and KwaZulu-Natal?
A number of these municipalities, Oliver, they are struggling. Some of them, they are starting to make the right decision because leadership has been making some of the wrong decisions. Johannesburg, as an example, we know now they are trying to buy their own tankers so that we can eliminate that particular problem. eThekwini is the same, because it's useless to actually do a leasing of a water tanker when we are actually going to be spending more than 30 million rands a month instead of starting to buy in a phased approach those particular water issues of water tankers that are belonging to ourselves. But more importantly, water tankers are not a panacea of our challenges that we face. We want municipalities to fix the infrastructure and so that the old infrastructure, you remove it. When you remove it, then citizens are going to get water.
Yeah.
When they get water, they'll be happy, Oliver. Then they will start to be able to pay, because when you do water tankering, it's part of non-revenue water. You will not be in a position to bill people. Therefore, the issues of infrastructure management, including revenue management, they must be a tandem in terms of balancing the two.
Deputy Minister, thank you so much for your time. Really do appreciate it. That's the Deputy Minister of Water and Sanitation, David Mahlobo.